Hello, and welcome back. I'm your host, Silas Finley.
And I'm your co-host, Sicaly Sorrell. Thank you for joining us.
Women's soccer and volleyball play some of their final games. Plus, we wrap up the past 3 football games as fall athletic season is coming to an end.
No need to fear because college basketball season is here. Both women's and men's teams leave tip-off week undefeated.
Too many Coug games to count? Don't worry. Our outlook of Cougar sports to come will help you keep track of all upcoming WSU sporting events.
All that and so much more right here only on
CougZone. On Thursday, October 26th, the Cougs put up a fight in Corvallis in a match that ended in a 2-2 tie. The opposing keeper must have been scared for her life as the Cougs set their season highs against Pac-12 schools in both shots and shots on goal with 25 and 13.
It was then on to Eugene to take on the still winless Ducks on Sunday, October 29th. The Cougs experienced a bit of a deja vu, ending in another 2-2 tie. WSU remained red hot in the shooting category, tallying 22 shots to Oregon's 6. Sophomore Peyton Price scored her first career goal and her first career start.
The Cougars concluded their season on the road against Washington on Friday, November 3rd, with a 2-0 final in the Apple Cup loss. Despite the final score, Washington State continued to outshoot their opponents, but just could not get any shots to grace the back of the net. Senior Margie DeTrizio had a season-high 8 shots in the match.
All in all, the Cougs had themselves a solid year. Veterans Margie DeTrizio, Rahana Reed, and Bridget Reichen paved the way with 8, 3, and 3 goals respectively, while some new faces such as Naomi Clark, Megan Santa Cruz, and Reagan Kachow showed serious potential. The Cougars as a whole were a firing squad, outshooting opponents on an average 6 more times a game. Keeper Nadia Cooper also had 47 saves on the year. 3 Cougs were given Pac-12 honors as DeTrizio was named to the All-Pac-12 third team, while Santa Cruz and Kachow were named to the All-Pac-12 freshman team. The Cougars end the season with a record of 9, 6, and 4, and a Pac-12 conference record of 2, 5, and 4.
WSU Volleyball has been in a slump recently, going 2-2 in their last 4, but things are finally starting to look up after their most recent match. Heading into their rematch with Stanford, the Cougs still had a shot to reign as Pac-12 champions in 2023, but the Cardinal made sure that did not happen, handing WSU their 3rd straight loss. Iman Izanovich led the Cougs in a match with 18 kills, hitting .255%. Her performance has been part of the best stretch of her WSU career, and she has been making a major part of keeping them in matches despite the overall slump.
After their day off, the Cougs looked to Cal to break their losing streak. A Golden Bear team that they had beaten 7 straight times stood no chance, with the Cougs sweeping them on their home floor. WSU program leading in career blocks, Magda Yelastrova, had 8 total blocks in the match, continuing her quest to become the Pac-12 and NCAA leader in the category. Coming back to bowler, the Cougs recognized 8 seniors: Julia Norville, Magda Yelastrova, Pia Timmer, Veronica Wojdala, Lana Radakovich, Peyton Claus, Carly Basham, and Iman Isanovich. All were honored over the course of 2 days.
On the Cougs' first senior night, they battled with UCLA all the way to 5 sets, even taking 7-1 lead and looking well on their way to securing the victory. But the Bruins came back to win a thrilling 17-15 final set and 3-2 victory overall. The loss for WSU knocked them down to 1 win and 4 losses in their last 5 matches, but they had to keep looking forward as they played the number 25 team in the nation in USC just 2 days later.
On senior night, day 2, the Cougs found themselves down 2-0 as the Trojans hit .500% against the Cougs in the first 2 sets. It was pure domination from the side of USC as WSU could not get anything going. Iman Isanovich sparked the WSU offense out of the timeout, and the Cougs dominated the 3rd set 25-16. After gutting out a big 4th set win, the Cougs were in line to get their reverse sweep Behind Iman Sanovic's heroics once again, the Cougs completed the reverse sweep with a 15-11 set win. Iman finished with a team-leading 24 kills and played her heart out.
The Cougs football squad continued their mid-season troubles against Arizona State in Week 8. WSU's offense would show signs of life, but ultimately lost the game by a score of 38-27. Cameron Scatabo and DeCarlos Brooks ran all over the Cougs defense, combining for 188 rushing yards on the day.
The Cougs looked to snap their 4-game losing streak going into Week 9 versus Stanford. Unfortunately, WSU could only muster 7 points to Stanford's 10. The only Cougar touchdown came in the second quarter when Cam Ward hit Josh Kelly for a 9-yard touchdown pass. The Cougs held the 7-point lead deep into the third quarter until a Cam Ward interception set up Stanford with great field position. The Cardinal would capitalize on the forced turnover with a touchdown of their own. The Cougs couldn't get anything going on offense, and Stanford kicked a field goal in the fourth quarter to drop WSU to a 4-5 record.
It was a shootout in Cal Berkeley, and the Cougs came out the losing end once again by a score of 39-42. It was a bad start for the Cougs, who fumbled early in the first quarter, which Cal returned for a touchdown. After another Cal touchdown, Cam Ward would respond with a rushing touchdown late in the first quarter. The Cougs went into the half down a touchdown, and after a slow third quarter, they trailed by just 4 points. Cal's Jaden Ott responded with a rushing touchdown. The Cougs couldn't seem to get out of their own way, fumbling again to gift Cal another touchdown. 2 more touchdown passes from Cam Ward weren't enough to overcome the deficit, and the Cougs fell to 4-6.
Basketball is back. The WSU men's basketball kicked the season off with a commanding victory over the Idaho Vandals. The Cougs dominated both halves and won by a score of 84-59. Andre Yakimowski led the team in scoring, putting up 21 points in 33 minutes of action. Isaac Jones also poured in a near double-double as he finished with 13 points and 9 rebounds in just 20 minutes.
Wazoo kept up the positive momentum against Prairie View for their second season game. The Cougs beat Panthers 83-65 in another impressive victory. Isaac Jones showed out, leading the Cougs in both points and rebounds with 18 and 11 respectively. Oscar Clough wasn't far behind in the scoring department, finishing with just 17 points and just 23 minutes. WSU shot an excellent 53.6% from the field while holding Prairie View to just 35.4%. After a rocky start, the 24th ranked women's Cougar basketball team beat Cal Poly 78-61 on Monday, November 6th. Led by fifth-year center Bella Murikatete, shared the wealth with 5 different players, scoring double-digit points. Despite trailing 3 at the half, Washington State dominated the third quarter, outscoring Cal Poly 23-9 and going on an 11-0 run at 1 point. Cal Poly being lethal from 3 wasn't enough to stop the Cougars.
WSU wanted to ring in the new season in style as they hosted the Gonzaga Bulldogs, a frequent tournament team in a fierce regional rivalry, Thursday at Beasley Coliseum. After raising the 2023 Pac-12 championship banner into Beasley's rafters and receiving their rings, Wazoo started slow out of the gate as the Zags took a 19-13 lead after 10 minutes, thanks to 9 Cougar turnovers. However, WSU limited Zaga to just 7 points in the second quarter and put their dynamic offense on display. In a span of 43 seconds in the second quarter, the Cougs went on a 6-0 run thanks in large part to Estera Tahino's ample awareness.
Tahina, fondly known as AT, matched her career high with 15 points. Charlize Ledger-Walker returned to form with 26 points and a perfect 9-for-9 night from the charity stripe. WSU conceded a fourth quarter 10-point lead as Gonzaga's Truong twins hosted a masterclass in scoring. With 6 seconds left and her team trailing by 3, Kayleen Truong took the ball across mid-court, shook off Ledger-Walker, and fired away the most shocking shot of the night, a 3 from 26 feet out. Seconds from victory, WSU found themselves in overtime. The Cougs could have quit, but head coach Cammie Etheridge said Charlize played a critical role in leading the team to victory.
we made enough mistakes in that at the end when we had a lead, and a great learning experience for us. I thought if we would lose this game, it would be tragic to have lost it. I think it's Charlize again. I think she's in the huddle going, we got this. Everybody was in foul trouble. Everybody, they didn't have as many players on their team, and we're scrambling, and we're not solid completely in how we're playing and how to guard them. And so I just think it was just, put the ball in our best guards' hands and let them go make plays. And that was Charlize.
WSU wasted little time putting the game away for good. Gonzaga made just one shot in the 5-minute overtime period as WSU made 2/3 of their shots to beat Gonzaga 77-72 in overtime.
To round out the weekend, the 24th ranked Cougs continued to dominate as they pounced on a victory against Idaho State on Sunday, November 12th, in a final score of 64-47. Great defense early on was the storyline of the night, as Washington State held the Bengals to only 17 first-half points. With the early success, the Cougars jumped to 3-0 on the year.
Just you guys have had some time to get, accumulated to the basketball season, opening up with 3 straight home games, and now you're going on a bit of a vacation, away stretch. How do you guys expect the team to respond to that?
I think it's just another challenge that away games are always harder. It's not a home court. So I think we just really have to lock in and be true to ourselves and just keep going and keep finishing strong.
WSU cross country sent 4 runners to the Pac-12 championships. 2 for the men's 8K and 2 for the women's 6K. Brian Barcia and Kevin Limo both posted season best times and both placed inside the top 30 of runners. For the women's 6K, Caroline Jeritich clocked her fastest time of the season, placing 33rd. Eliana Boggs ran her second meet of the season, finishing 51st overall.
With the fall sports ending and winter sports beginning, there's a lot of Cougar athletics to watch out for. Let's pass it to our WSN correspondent, Jacob Carr, for an outlook of the Cougar sports to come.
Thanks, Sicaly. We've got a packed lineup of exciting games coming up, so let's dive on in. First up, our women's basketball team will be taking on Montana Grizzlies on November 14th at 6 p.m. in Missoula. The Cougs will then head to Texas to take on Prairie View Panthers at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And on November 23rd to the 25th, the Cougars will head to Cancun, Mexico for the Cancun Challenge, playing against the Maryland Terrapins on the 23rd at 8 p.m., the Massachusetts Beacons on the 24th at 8 p.m., and against the Green Bay Phoenixes on the 25th at 10:30 a.m. On to swimming, the Cougars will head to the Art Adams Invitational at the Texas A&M from November 15th to the 16th, so if you're in the area, go support your fellow Cougs. After defending the gym against USC last week, women's volleyball heads to Colorado to take on the Buffaloes at 6 p.m. The Cougars will then face off again against the Utah Utes in Salt Lake on the 19th at 11 a.m. And then on the 12 p.m. on the 22nd, the Cougs will have to defend the gym one last time against the Arizona Sun Devils. Finally, the Cougars will head to Seattle for the Boeing Apple Cup against the Huskies at 7 p.m., so be sure to tune in for the final Pac-12 matchup. On the cross-country front, our runners are just one race away from the end of the season. The Cougars will be in Charlottesville, Virginia on November 18th for the NCAA Championships. Our men's basketball team will head to Uncaseville, Connecticut from November 18th to the 19th for the Basketball Hall of Fame tip-off. They will face Mississippi State on the 18th at 9 a.m. and play the winners of Northwestern versus Rhode Island. The Cougs are back in Beasley Coliseum on November 24th, taking on Utah Tech at 1 p.m. The Cougars will stay in Pullman to face Eastern Washington on November 27th at 7 p.m. With just 2 games left in the season, Coach Dicker and the Cougars will match up against Coach Sanders and the Buffaloes on the 17th at 7:30 p.m. And on November 25th, for what could be the final time after 124 years, WSU will make its way to Seattle to face the Huskies in the Boeing Apple Cup at 1 p.m. That's all for your Cougar Sports Outlook. I'm Jacob Carr, your WSN's correspondent, sending you back to the desk with Silas and Sicaly.
Thanks, Jacob. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.
Want more WSN content? Make sure to follow us on all our socials at Wazoo Sports Network on Instagram and TikTok, and at Wazoo Sports Net on Twitter.
Also, make sure to like and subscribe to Cable 8 Productions on YouTube for more WSU sports content and a variety of amazing shows.
Once again, I'm Sicaly Sorrell, and it was my delight to be your host today.
And I, Silas Finley, the same. We'll catch you next time.
Right here.
Only on
CougZone.
CougZone.